To continue his father's legacy, Rabbi Mendy Kotlarsky has been appointed the executive director of the International Conference of Shluchim and Hashluchos. For nearly 20 years, Rabbi Kotlarsky worked alongside his father at Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters, helping to establish, support, and expand the Hashluchos network and its infrastructure. Together with the team at Merkaz, he has launched Chabad On Call, See Kids, See Teen, and the Young Chabad Professionals Network, along with many other innovative initiatives to empower Shluchim in their mission to strengthen Jewish life. Please join us in welcoming Rabbi Mendy Kotlarsky.
For 34 years, we had the zchus to have the front row seats watching how my dear father, Reb Moshe Yehuda ben Rav HaChassid Reb Tzvi Yosef, Hareini Kaparis Mishkavai, invested his life into the Kinus Hashluchos, making sure that every detail was produced to perfection. So it is my honor and privilege to start tonight by recognizing the extremely dedicated team led by my uncle, Rabbi Mendel Kotlarsky, and Rabbi Shner Najjar, and the entire team at Merkaz L'Inyanei Chinuch, along with the executive committee who has invested the last 364 days. And a shout out to the Banquet committee for putting together such an incredible program tonight. Mrs. Rebbitzin Sarah Alevsky, Rebbitzin Chani Wallowik, Rebbitzin Chaya Posner, and Rebbitzin Chevy Vigler. What an incredible 5 days it has been, watching the Shluchos come together to honor and to commemorate Chaf Bei Shvat, the Rebbitzin's life and dedication to the Rebbe. The energy is palpable. Visiting the Oyel, gathering strength in 770, the Farbrengens, the workshops, the general sessions, the networking, the learning, just watching the Shluchos be there for each other, inspiring and uplifting. The Jewish future is bright. Allow me for a moment to go back in history and illustrate tonight's theme with a story the way it is detailed by the Frierdiker Rebbe in a booklet called The Haskalah Movement, the Enlightenment Movement, and the Tzemach Tzedek. People trying to infiltrate our community and introduce new ideas and tell us that the old ways won't work is not something new. And therefore, in an effort to undermine the Tzemach Tzedek's approach to authentic Jewish Torah life, they designated one of the top maskilim, a gentleman by the name of Mordechai Aaron Ginsburg, who traveled first from city to city, meeting with some of the greatest Hasidim of the times, Reb Isaac of Hummel and Reb Hillel, trying to understand and disguise himself in one place as a weary traveler who needed to rest, to spend time and see what's happening, and in another as a teacher looking for a prestigious student. After a few weeks of traveling and coming to learn the Chabad approach, he ended up in the small town of Lubavitch. Nothing could have prepared him, and extremely unexpected to see in this small little village in White Russia so many different types of Jews coming from all corners of the world with questions, seeking advice from the Tzemach Tzedek. The intense conversations with the mashpiyim and the rabbis in the town, the deep philosophy and approach and strategy of the Chabad movement was not something he was prepared for. He had prepared detailed arguments as to why the future of the Jewish people will only be secured if the ways of the Enlightenment movement would be embraced. And in the two short yichidisin that he had with the Tzemach Tzedek, he tried to go through them, and obviously the Tzemach Tzedek, one by one, reminded him and showed him why he was wrong. Defeated and disappointed, he returned to Vilna, and for 2 weeks, he couldn't come back to himself. He didn't understand how the great strategists of the Enlightenment movement, his teachers, could have underestimated the value, the work, and the importance of the Chabad movement and their Rebbe to the Jewish life that he had just witnessed. 2 weeks later, he gave a lecture reporting in detail what he witnessed, and one of the things that he pointed out, which is so relevant to tonight, is what I want to stop and point out for a moment. He said in every place that he visited, the sincerity, the wholesomeness, the unique and special role and connection that he saw of the woman sitting and saying Tehillim every morning, finishing it on Shabbos. But what stood out in his mind was that wherever he went, everybody would tell over 2 or 3 stories, miracle stories of the Rebbe. But none of the women would ever mention the Tzemach Tzedek, the Rebbe's name, without first ritually washing their hands and making sure that they were clean. That depth of connection, of admiration to something so authentic and so true, he said, this we will never be able to win. We will never be able to overpower. Fast forward 175 years, in this room and all around the world, we see the same connection, the same sincerity, the same passion, the same dedication in each and every one of the shluchos that are here tonight. The Rebbe's brand of authentic and unapologetic Torah true Judaism continues to be the reason why the Chabad shluchos trailblaze, innovate, and are the primary force of Jewish life, taking Judaism on the offense, and a Judaism that resonates with the youth and the next generation all around the world. It's incredible to see on a global level how many leaders, world leaders, still recognize and come to the Yoel. Just 2 weeks ago on a state visit to New York, the president and the first lady, his wife from Eretz Yisrael, came to daven at the Yoel. The constant flow, and then traveling around to shluchim and shluchos all around the world, and seeing the vibrant, exciting, innovative programming that are being offered. Just a few weeks ago, I had this merit to be at the opening of a C-Teen Lounge in Lake Worth, Florida. Teen lounges is a new concept that nobody knew whether it would work or not. And yet, after the last 3 years, when my father committed to building 60 new teen lounges around the world, I came to this Chabad house and saw a shul that was built for teens that maybe will tolerate adults. Every Shabbos, 30, 40, 50 teenagers come together because they have their place. And I met over there a young woman named Hannah, whose mother grew up in Reform Judaism, and her father would take her to church every Sunday. For 16 years, she was pulled in different directions until she came across her shlucha, got involved in the local chapter, and came to New York for the C-Teen Shabbaton. Inspired, she decided after she graduated that she would go to Eretz Yisrael to spend some time over there, but yet still being pulled in different directions. In Eretz Yisrael, in seminary, in Tzfas, she realized that there was something that she needed to make a decision. And it is that moment that her shlucha gave her the advice and told her, wherever you go in life, make sure you take a piece of Eretz Yisrael, a piece of Israel with you so you know the right decision to make. Fast forward, after going to Chabad on campus in Texas A&M, she's now married and expecting a beautiful new addition to her family and rededicating her life to the same true Torah authentic Judaism because of the love, the Avas Hashem, the Avas HaTorah, and the Avas Yisrael that all come together in each and every one of your interactions. And on a global level, it's incredible to see thousands of public school children being engaged in JUQ regional championships led by the Shluchos primarily and the Shluchim around the world. Next week, we expect a room this size of teenagers at the International Seating Shabbaton. Chabad on campus is the lifeline for tens of thousands of college students, reaching hundreds of thousands all around the world. And Chabad Young Professional is reimagining millennial engagement of Jewish life. This is what happens when we stay true to who we are and to our core. And that is what we rededicate ourselves to tonight. Last year, from this podium, my father, Hareini Kaparis Mishkavai, announced a slew of new initiatives to make sure that we continue to stay at the forefront of Jewish life, enabling and empowering the Shluchim and Shluchos around the world. I am here and excited to announce that the Sea Kids After School Project, which he committed to funding in 100 new communities, has already piloted with close to 1,000 children in 15 different communities, and now applications are open for those that want to dedicate Sea Kids After School programs, not only once a week, but every single day, for children from public schools to come to their communities. Along with 100 new shluchim, we are announcing tonight that we are closing in on the funding now of the next 36, bringing the total number of shluchim and shluchos part of this program to 86 shluchim in places like Restetica, Argentina, Nairobi, Kenya, Mykonos, Greece, Dar el Salaam, Tanzania, and all of the new places that will be announced during the roll call are all part of these new initiatives. In addition, the commitment to open up a seminary, an online kollel dach, a education platform for shluchos to be able to join and learn with each other the Hasidus inspiration. God willing, the application process is going to open tonight, and I'm proud to announce that a team of mashpiyos and rebbitzins and lecturers and teachers are going to be available to the shluchos that want to join this new program. Together with our visionary global partners, we are excited to thank the Rebbe for enabling us to make sure that all of the different programs and support for shluchim and shluchos continue to run, as well as to take a moment over here and let's hear a large round of applause for each and every one of the local donors who enable the shluchim and the shluchos to do their work, to keep being there for every single Jew in your town. And for anybody that's watching this, that wants to challenge, I challenge you to challenge your shluchos to fund them and to enable them to open up new projects to reach new people, new children, new adults, and new seniors that do not yet have a connection to the Jewish community. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Gnevish family who's here for their special gift that they gave to everybody, all of their participants tonight. And to ask the Rebbe for a bracha, that this be the last Kinus in Galas. And we should shortly from here be able to march towards the Geula Amitis V'Ashlema, take it from a Yad Mamash. It is now one of my most meaningful and greatest honors to take a moment and to call upon my dear mother, Mrs. Rivka Kotlarsky. For years, her involvement in every single part of my father's life, enabling him to travel and to be there for shluchim and shluchos around the world, hosting an open home with visitors from around the world, large Shabbos meals, guidance and support to the young in her own right. She is Mora Kotlarsky. Kenai Nahara teaches 5 classes and almost 130 students every single week, as well as together with her team, runs the guest program for the Kinus Hashluchos. Rebbe Mali Resnick and the whole team, really incredible to see that up close.